Okay, these are just my quick thoughts after episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. And I just was so excited by this episode that I had to record something because I have so many spoilery thoughts that I just don't want to say separately. I just want to get it all out there. So wow, Mando is back, and that was the biggest surprise for me. I was surprised to see him back, and then he got a whole episode to himself. Like, this was Mandalorian basically season 2.5. This episode was like bridging the gap, I'm guessing, from season 2 and setting up season 3, which I loved. It just focused completely on Din after the events of season 2. He has the Darksaber. He had a brutal opening fight scene with the Darksaber, and I'm like, this is better than any Boba Fett's fight scenes from this whole show, which is kind of an issue, that Mando is the best part of the Book of Boba Fett. And I think it's kind of sad that this legacy character that so many people loved isn't getting as good a treatment as the Mandalorian is. But also, it was the mystery of Boba Fett that made him so interesting in the original trilogy. So I think by doing this show, it takes away from the Boba Fett character a little bit. There's some cool stuff in the show, and I'm hoping they're building to a really cool finale, but ultimately I am way more interested in the Mandalorian stuff, and I think a lot of people are. I feel bad for Tamura Morrison, because he's doing such a great job. It's just, the show is pretty much filler until now, which, I mean, this is filler for Book of Boba Fett, but for Mandalorian, this is doing a whole lot of stuff. I loved the building of Grogu's armor, and I'm excited to see what that is. I'm so excited that he's coming back. Like, they've basically promised us he's going to come back at some point. Whether that's next episode, like, I'm not sure if Mando meant, like, he's going to see Grogu and Luke next episode. That would be a little weird if it happens in Book of Boba Fett, but also I really want to see it. And Dave Filoni's directing next week, so big things could come. I'm really hoping we get to a big, like, bounty hunter team up in the finale of Boba Fett. But ultimately, I don't even care about that story anymore. I just want Mandalorian season 3. And this episode made me realize how much I missed the Mandalorian. Like, I didn't realize how much I missed it until I saw him show up, and I just was so excited to see him back. So I thought that was really cool. I also loved when they went back to Tatooine, and we saw Amy Sedaris' character again from the first season, and he was rebuilding a Naboo ship from the Phantom Menace, and that was so cool. The Phantom Menace references in this episode were awesome, and I loved the pod racing style scene. I loved how we got a familiar character, the X-Wing pilot from season 2, who's played by Appa from Kim's Convenience. I love how he was back. That made me really happy. Just seeing Mando back was awesome. It did feel a little weird that Boba Fett was sidelined in his own show, but also I don't care. I was so happy to see Mando back, and that's about it. I'm so happy with how this episode turned out. Bryce Dallas Howard is one of my favorite directors of this whole series. She's had some of the best episodes, and I really think they should give her a movie, because wow, she is so good at directing this. It's awesome. I have no complaints with the episode. I thought that was freaking awesome. Book of Boba Fett, this is the way. Just go back to being Mandalorian. It would be I think it would be better if they had Boba Fett having an episode in Mandalorian rather than getting a whole show. I feel like they have that finale, which will be really good, but everything before it is just pretty much filler. But I'm really glad we got this episode, the return of the Mandalorian, and oh boy, was it ever good.